The Holy Gospel according to Mark.
Glory to you, Lord.
6 days later, Jesus took with him Peter and James and John and led them up a high mountain apart by themselves. And he was transfigured before them, and his clothes became dazzling white, such as no one on earth could bleach them. And there appeared to them Elijah and Moses, who were talking with Jesus. Then Peter said to Jesus, "Rabbi, it is good for us to be here. Let us make 3 dwellings, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." Peter did not know what to say, for he and the others were terrified. Then a cloud overshadowed them, and from the cloud there came a voice. "This is my Son, the beloved. Listen to him." Suddenly, when they looked around, they saw no one with them anymore, but only Jesus. As they were coming down the mountain, he ordered them to tell no one about what they had seen until after the Son of Man had risen from the dead. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, O Christ.
Please be seated. Feel his presence. Breathe in his spirit. God with us. So here's a recap of what happened 6 days before we got into our gospel lesson this morning. Jesus had just fed the 5,000 with loaves of bread and fishes, and had an abundance of 12 baskets of leftover. Jesus had also healed the man that was blind with just his spit, and he asked his disciples to tell him who the people in the villages said that he was. And then he asked the disciples to tell him who they thought he was. And our Peter confesses that Jesus is the Christ. And Jesus tells his disciples then to tell no one. And right before our scripture begins, Jesus tells the disciples about his death and resurrection. And here, Peter is told to "Get behind me, Satan." So, the stage has been set for something miraculous to happen. They are going to the mountaintop. Great things happen on the mountaintop, and this event will be no exception. For Jesus dies on the mountaintop. Transfigured. To change the form or appearance of. To transform so as to glorify. In order to change, in order to transform, something must die. Something has to go away for that something new to arise. Want to lose weight? Change your eating habits. Want to get better grades? Change your study habits. Something old must go away so that this new something can take over. Jesus died on the mountaintop and was resurrected into something new and glorious. You may ask yourself, what on earth would Jesus need to die from? What would Jesus need to change in his life so he might become this transfigured new being? I think what changed on that mountaintop for Jesus was his attitude of where his new journey was going to be taking him. Jesus will be going from teacher and healer to a man preparing for his own death, a death on a cross. And after today, our season changes to Lent, where we all begin our journey to the cross along with Christ. So in this manner, Christ has been transfigured in order to begin put off a good prayer life because it takes too much time out of our busy lives? Have we taken our children, our spouses, and other significant people in our lives for granted? Have we forgotten to remember who all that we have belongs to? And have we given thanks for all that we have been given? God came down onto the mountain in a cloud and said, "This is my Son, the beloved, and listen to him." Have we stopped listening? And are we just waiting to get our 2 cents into the conversation? Reba McEntire has a great song entitled, "What Do You Say?" And the chorus has these words to share with us. What do you say in a moment like this when you can't find the words to tell it like it is? Just bite your tongue and let your heart lead the way. Let's get out of here. Oh, what do you say? Perhaps we need to bite our tongue in our Lenten journey more often than we do, and perhaps we need to listen to what our heart is saying to us instead. Do you hear what your heart says to you when you hear the words of Jesus? All that has taken place in our scripture lesson this morning was to prepare Jesus himself and his main disciples for what lies ahead: his death, his resurrection, and his ascension. We are being prepared for our Lenten journey today, too. We are being transfigured as we come to the table seeking forgiveness. When we open the scriptures and hear what is being said. When we look into our neighbor's eyes and say, "I am sorry for the hurt I have caused you." We are called this morning to prepare for what lies ahead in the coming days and weeks to come as we journey with Christ in the transfigured time of our lives, Lent. How will you let yourself be transfigured? How will you listen today? How will you not make assumptions about what it is that this journey is supposed to look like? I want to share a really short story with you. Perhaps some of you have heard it, and I have no idea who the author of this is. But it's called Potato Chip. A little boy wanted to meet God, and he knew it was a long trip to where God lived. So he packed his suitcases with potato chips and a 6-pack of soda pop juice, and he started his journey. He'd gone about 3 blocks when he had met an older woman, and she was sitting on a park bench, just staring at the pigeons. The little boy sat next to her, and he opened his suitcase. He was about to take a drink from his root beer when he noticed that the old lady, well, she looked kind of hungry too. So he offered her some chips. She gratefully accepted it and smiled at him. Her smile was so pretty that the boy wanted to see it again, so he offered her a root beer. And again she smiled at him. The boy was delighted. They sat there all afternoon, eating and smiling and drinking their root beer and not saying a word. As twilight approached, the boy realized how tired he was, and he got up to leave. But before he had gone but just a few steps, he turned around and ran back to the older woman and gave her a big hug. And she, in return, gave him her biggest smile. When the boy opened the door to his own house a short time later, his mother was surprised by the look of joy on his face, and she asked him, "Honey, what did you do today that made you so happy?" And he replied, "I had lunch with God." But before his mother could respond another sentence, the little boy said, "And you know He's much younger than I am. We want to find God and we want to find Jesus in the way we think we should find them, and not in the little